This is the new DJI Mini 2. Let's go inside. Hello guys and welcome again. This is Alex with Chivo on the camera. This is the DJI Mini 2. DJI has decided to rename all their products. We've seen this on the Pocket 2, we've seen them on the RS2, now the DJI Mini, no more Mavic. We don't really know, it's getting a little bit chaotic, but okay. Apart from that, the Mini 2 is like the Mini 1, but they have unleashed its full potential, let's say it that way. This now has 4K, this now has OcuSync 2.0, and pretty much it's now a super awesome pocket toy mini drone. And remember, it only weighs 249 grams with all the privileges that this allows you, like for example in many countries not having to register the drone. There are some special laws that do not apply on this. Anyway, please check your local laws for that. And I wanted to say today that we've come to this amazing, beautiful Catalan town, Mura, with Chivo to spend a couple of days and to do a kind of different review, like more traveling review for you guys. So let's go and review this thing. Look at this, Chivo. This drone is smaller than my hand. I mean, it's ridiculous. When I was scripting the video for this review, I was thinking like, what should I actually say? Because this is so simple, this is so beginner friendly. They've made it so easy for everyone to fly. There's not much that you can technically say or do with this drone. It just flies, it films in 4K, it has the OcuSync. The 249 grams, as I told you, will make this basically a toy drone. So this is made for all the beginners out there, all the people that want to introduce themselves into the drone world and all that. And I mean, look at this. And with this capabilities and this sensor and this camera, I'm thinking this is the perfect second drone to have in your backpack when you're traveling, just in case, you know? We brought also the Mavic Mini 1 and the Mavic Air 2, and we're gonna do comparisons versus those two drones, and of course in upcoming videos you'll see the results. Plus, as always when a new DJI drone comes, we'll also have new sunglasses coming on us and eyewear. For all those guys asking, the link is in the description. I think you may like this and, you know, have fun. But let's get back to the differences against the Mini 1 and what has actually been improved here. We know, as you've seen on the specs, it's the same sensor, the same camera sensor, which means that the quality of the output, of the image output, hasn't been really changed too much. However, they have given you the possibility now to shoot in 4K, which you couldn't do before. We knew on the Mini 1 that the sensor was capable and the processor was capable of shooting 4K, but they had just capped it. So this time they have unleashed it and you're able to shoot in 4K. But for me and for us, the biggest improvement is of course the OcuSync 2.0. The biggest problem of the Mavic Mini was of course the Wi-Fi connection. It was just too, it wasn't good. But with the OcuSync 2.0, they have included it, especially on the controller. That's why it is so big. You'll see it in a second. You're now able to fly up to 10 kilometers in FCC or 6 kilometers in CE distance, which is a blast. And not only that, but of course the strength of that signal has been improved. OcuSync 2.0 is super strong. You don't have interferences if you're flying close, and of course you can't really lose the sight of the drone, so you'll always have a live view of 720p on your phone, which really looks perfect. But there are also a few other differences that have been improved on this one. 1 more minute flight time from 30 to 31, plus now it is level 5 wind resistance. Mini 1 was level 4, which means that it is now capable of flying when having winds of up to 34 km/h, which is pretty decent for such a small drone. Plus, it flies 10 km/h faster with a max speed of up to 57 kilometers, which is really decent too. There are also 3 extra functions that are new on this drone and are supposed to be helpful. First of all, the zoom. Now you can zoom in 4K 2 times and in Full HD 4 times. I don't really know if we're ever gonna see this or use this. We have also the option of enhanced photo, which is supposed to be optimizing your picture, ready to be uploaded to your social networks without having to edit it in such a natural and honest good way. And finally, the most interesting one is the quick transfer. You can now download without the controller the files from your drone to your phone at a speed of 20 megabytes per second, which is really fast. Many of you ask us for night footage always and no extra video. Here you have some nice night footage. Look at this, Chivo. The controller. Yes, it's that maxi DJI Maxi controller. I mean, it's big, okay? We know this, it's exactly the same controller that we had on the Mavic Air 2, and people were not happy in the beginning. But I said, yes, I said, this is the best controller that DJI ever did. It is super nice in your hand, it fits good, it's just a little bit too big, and I'm not really sure if this is the perfect controller for the Mavic Mini because it's just almost double the size of the drone. So the controller is awesome, but it's a little bit too big. 83 grams, this is the battery. Important, you have to fully charge it before the first use because it's not activated. This may sound a little bit stupid, but if you plan on buying the drone, just taking it out and flying, you will need an hour or a little bit longer to charge fully at least one of the batteries. So make sure to do that. Let's talk now about the DJI Fly app. My and Chivo's personal favorite app because it is so simple and easy that our grandmother, 19-year-old grandma, can use it. I mean, it's super simple. You can switch from photo to video, easy, start, stop recording, take pictures, change the frame rate. There's nothing really you can do wrong. Do you see this? When I first opened the box, I said, okay, this is the foam that I'm gonna just break and take off and never use again. But I have to say, when you don't use it and you carry the drone, do you see the props? They're like hanging around and it's not really helpful. Now, you'll have to learn a few minutes how to use this because it's not easy, but once you learn how to use it, it's super helpful. So you're gonna be using this for sure. And apart from that, we have also 2 other extras, but we're gonna do extra videos for this because otherwise the review would be like 200 minutes. Look at this. DIY creative kit for painting and putting on top of your Mavic Mini so that it's unique and awesome. And then this one, this is like a Mavic Mini snap adapter. I don't really know what this is. I haven't opened neither of both, so we'll see in extra videos what this actually is. But it's like a, I don't know, like a LED screen to put on top of the drone, and then you can write a message and say I love you to your favorite person. Sometimes when you do reviews, you forget to talk about the bad things of what you're reviewing. It's not like that there are many bad things, but there are a couple that can be improved, okay? Let's put it that way so we don't get killed for our words. The Mavic Mini has just this bottom sensors, which are good for taking off and landing, precise landing. I mean, it's great, and you can put your hand underneath the drone and it will hover higher. Okay, that's fine, but you don't have sensors around the drone, which means that you can crash it really, really easily. So you gotta be careful. And it doesn't have internal storage. I just realized that because all DJI drones, or let's say the newer DJI drones, have internal storage, and it's something that is really helpful. For that specific day you forget your SD card, or you know, you just film too much and it is full. So those 2 things, I believe that in a Mavic Mini 3 or Mini 3 can be improved. Summing up, overall the feelings that we now had when using this for a full day was that the Mini 2 has improved over the Mini 1. Basically the 2 things that were missing back then, which was of course the 4K and also the strong signal with the OcuSync 2.0. Overall, we have to say that this is now the cheapest and lowest category of DJI drones, but still I believe it's better than 80–90% of other brand drones that are out there. And it's insane to think that the smallest and cheapest DJI drone has now the strongest signal in the market and a good 4K, which we had actually with the same sensor on the Mavic Air 1 and all those drones. So we reviewed a couple of weeks ago the Pocket 2, and it's kind of the same strategy. Nothing really has been improved a lot, nothing has really changed, like the frame, everything is still the same, but all the things that people were complaining about and, you know, people hating, oh, this drone doesn't have 4K, so I never will buy it. Now you can. There's nothing really that you can complain on this drone, same as on the Pocket 2 now. So overall, this thing as a second drone, if you're a professional or semi-professional, as a back drone in your backpack, fits. And if you're a beginner, this is the drone to go, for sure. Chivo, do you have anything else to say? Okay, thank you, Chivo. He told me that before, when someone was asking, hey, which drone should I buy? We not too often recommended the Mini 1 because it had those flaws, let's say, right? But now it is something that we can recommend easily because you just have to be careful because it doesn't have the sensors. So if you're not the most expert person in technology and all that, you gotta be a little bit careful. But apart from that, there is nothing really that can avoid us from recommending this drone. Guys, while we were talking with Chivo and walking in this travel awesome city town, we came up with a We Talk UAV ranking. From now on, we're going to do some ranking. We're going to be using portability. We have given, of course, the smallest DJI drone a 5 out of 5 stars, which is, of course. Then we're going to talk about the image quality. You have to remember the sensor is pretty good, but it is small. The 4K is great, but it is not as good as the Mavic Air 2, for example, so we have given it a 3.5 out of 5. We then have also the functionality, and here it's a little bit confusing because in functionality we have things such as the controller, batteries, connectivity and all that, and sensors and all that, and you know, here it's like this a little bit. We have given it a 3 out of 5 because you don't have active track, you don't have such you know, all those things, but you do have, as I'm saying, a good 31 minutes battery flight time, a good OcuSync 2.0. And finally, the price for the value, we have given it a 5 because for this price, this quality and this size, it's just mind-blowing. Overall, the final score is 4.1 out of 5 for this small DJI Mini drone. Nothing really else to say, guys. I really hope that you liked this video. There are many more videos coming about the DJI Mini 2, comparing it to the Air 2, to the Mini, and doing some nice, awesome cinematic footage. I hope that you like this video. Always remember to keep calm and talk UAV. Props. But you can... Wow! Pavo. ¿Lo empiezo otra vez? Yo. Really? Look at this chivo. What do you think of this? Vale, perdón. Es que hay escaleras ahí, vente un poco más porque...